Okay, it's just going to be a quick little video to discuss the differences in between rainwater and tap water. And I'm going to be doing a couple of things. I'm going to be checking the pH of my local water and also of the rainwater. And that will be with this unit here. Now this is just a Holland greenhouse. Inexpensive little meter. Not sure how accurate it is, but it gives you a rough idea. Also, the other thing I'm going to be using is this. This is a TDS3, Total Dissolved Solids. So we'll be seeing how much solids there are in the rainwater and how much in the tap water. So let's start with the pH. This older measuring cup, that is the tap water. So you throw that in, like that. Let it sit for a bit, and it'll slowly try to figure out what the pH level is. Now pH is important. You want to have your soils and that roughly neutral. Depending on your plants, of course, but if you're looking at tomatoes, herbs, that sort of thing, you'll be kind of wanting to have it in the neighborhood of just neutral. And we'll zoom in a little tighter, and you can see that the water is showing pretty muchly alkaline. So to get that neutral, you have to add in some sort of acid. Now I'm just going to pause for a second because I need to dry that off before I put it into the rainwater. Okay, so now I've got my pH meter in the rainwater, and you see it's also showing that the water is pretty alkaline. Now, I'm thinking that this isn't the best meter. I don't really want to spend $250 to get a high-end meter. But you see, that's also showing alkaline. So if you're growing certain herbs, shall we say, you'll need to pH up on this. To get it more, you're looking between 5 and 6 is where you want to be. So that's the rainwater. Not a great deal of difference. Now then, total dissolved solids. This makes a world of difference. You know, wherever you live, your water will be different. We have, runoff from mountains. So we have fairly high parts per million, roughly. It's reading 178 parts per million on my hard water that comes out of the tap. Now I know I've used this a lot, and when you go for distilled water, it'll read 0. I'm interested to see what the rainwater will read, because, lands on the roof, runs down the roof, into the eaves trough, into my rain barrel. As you can see, it has 17 parts per million. So it's probably a better source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up fertilizer for my greenhouse. And once I've got that done, I will use my first one, probably rainwater. My second one, I'll use tap water. And we'll look at the differences again for the parts per million. Okay, so having tested my water and the soil, and it all showed alkaline on this here Holland greenhouse meter, I decided to try it with distilled water. So distilled water is neutral. And it is still showing down on the alkali. So my considered opinion, this 3 setting Holland greenhouse item, it's only good for the moisture content. That seems to work really well. pH, I'm not impressed with. The light isn't anywhere near accurate. Do better with my cell phone and a lux meter. So there you have it. If you're wanting just to check your moisture, I think the Holland greenhouse is all right. Anything else? I really seriously don't think it's a great purchase. Ah well, luckily it was only like 15 bucks, so there you go. You get what you pay for. Okay, so here is my fertilizer and my Magical and Royal Gold mix. I use the Royal Gold every time. I use the Magical or Cali Magic, whichever one, every time. So check the parts per million, and it's jumped up to 535 parts per million. So that just gives you an idea how much fertilizer and stuff I've added in. And again, get my little Holland greenhouse meter, and you can see it's improved a tiny little bit, but it's still pretty alkaline according to this meter. But how much does a $25 meter actually give you for truth? Don't know. So that's my rainwater, and then I'll be back in a couple of minutes with my regular tap water. Okay, so here is my tap water with the fertilizers added in. And you can see the total dissolved solids has jumped up over 1,000. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I had the end out. So it's about 628 parts per million. Oh, there we go. Looking at the meter and looking at the phone at the same time doesn't really work. Okay, and then again, my pH meter. And you can see it's just not quite as alkaline as the rainwater was showing. But again, that meter should be straight up and down, is where you want it to be. So that is now ready to go and to feed my tomatoes and my flowers and everything else.